This spring, Odell Beckham Jr. signed for the Baltimore Ravens, his fourth team in 5 years. There was a time where OBJ looked on course to become one of the best wide receivers the NFL has ever seen, a flashy, charismatic figure who delivered on the gridiron. But now, OBJ has gone 4 years without a 1,000-yard season. How did we get here? In this video, we're taking a look at exactly that. Is this season make or break for OBJ and his legacy? Odell Beckham Jr. was born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He grew up in a family with a strong support background. His mother was a college athlete and his father, Odell Beckham Sr., was a running back for LSU Tigers. Following in his father's footsteps, Odell began showcasing his athletic talents early, excelling in various sports during his high school years. Beckham's incredible skills on the gridiron attracted the attention of college basketball powerhouses. Eventually, he decided to attend LSU, where he became a star wide receiver for the Tigers, just like his dad, who was roommates with the one and only Big Diesel, Shaq O'Neal. At LSU, Beckham displayed his impressive athleticism, blazing speed, and remarkable catching ability. He developed a reputation for making ridiculous catches that had fans going crazy. LSU won the SEC in his freshman year, with Odell finishing second on the team with 41 receptions for 475 yards and tied for third with 2 receiving touchdowns. He was named a freshman All-SEC selection. In his sophomore year, his childhood friend and future NFL wide receiver Jarvis Landry joined him at LSU to form the most dangerous wide receiver pairing in college football. LSU went 10-2 during the season, with OBJ finishing first in receiving yards with 713, second in receptions with 43, only behind Jarvis Landry's 56 receptions, and third on the team with 2 receiving touchdowns. Odell's junior year would turn out to be his final year at LSU, and he went crazy before declaring for the draft, finishing the year with 57 receptions for 1,117 yards and 8 touchdowns. He led the SEC with 32 kickoff returns for 845 net yards in the 2013 season, including a then record-breaking 109-yard failed field goal touchdown return. Having already impressed with his college accolades, OBJ went crazy at the combine, catching the eye of NFL scouts before going 12th in the draft to the New York Giants, the third wide receiver selected behind Sammy Watkins and Mike Evans. He signed a 4-year deal worth $10.4 million with a $5.9 million signing bonus. New York was probably the only city that could match his level of stardom. At the time, this New York team were only 3 years on from winning the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots. After missing a majority of training camp, preseason, and the first 4 games of the season because of a hamstring injury, Beckham made his debut in Week 5 against the Falcons, recording 4 receptions for 44 yards and a touchdown in a Giants victory. In his first Monday Night Football game against the Colts, Beckham caught 8 passes for 156 yards in a loss. The talent was clearly there. With Victor Cruz injured early into the season, Beckham needed to step up almost straight away. While the Giants were 7 games without a win, OBJ was putting together a standout rookie season. Well, if you want to stand out as a rookie, it's probably a good idea to do something spectacular. Beckham certainly did that when he hauled in the catch of the year against the Cowboys in a Sunday night game. Everyone in the world was talking about rookie Odell putting off one of the greatest catches in NFL history. But it was not just his spectacular highlights which were getting people's attention. Beckham was also putting up numbers. In the month of November alone, Beckham put up 38 receptions for 593 yards and 2 touchdowns. In December, OBJ had 600 yards receiving, breaking Michael Irvin's rookie record. He set the NFL rookie record for consecutive 90-yard games. Odell had a one-handed grip on the NFL and was named on the cover of Madden. At the end of that rookie season, Odell became the first Giants rookie wide receiver to be named to the Pro Bowl. Beckham had an exceptional season, arguably one of the best rookie seasons that we have ever seen in the NFL. In just 12 games, he became the only rookie to ever record 1,300 yards, 91 catches, and 12 touchdowns. There was absolutely no doubt who the Rookie of the Year was. 2015 was really more of the same from Beckham. OBJ missed just 1 game in the season and ended up with 96 receptions, 1,450 yards receiving, as well as 13 touchdowns. It seemed like Beckham had broken the Madden curse, but that wasn't the talking point for that season. All everybody would talk about was OBJ's clash with Josh Norman. Norman and Beckham were 2 very different NFL stars. Norman was the underdog that clawed to the top, whereas Beckham was destined for football greatness continuously in the spotlight. In the game against the Panthers, when Norman came out with a baseball bat pre-game, it enraged OBJ, and the pair had collisions throughout the game. In the end, 5 flags were thrown as well as a number of punches. This cost OBJ a game suspension. Despite that, Beckham was still ranked as the 10th best player in the NFL that season. The issue was, his Giants finished the season 6-10 and missed the playoffs. There was not much Beckham could do about having the 3rd worst defense in the league. However, in 2016, the defense drastically improved. Beckham played all 16 regular season games and was phenomenal. Things looked like they were turning around for the Giants as they made the playoffs, heading to Lambeau Field to face the Green Bay Packers. To celebrate, Odell took the receiving corps on a boat trip to Miami just days before their playoff game, posting about it on Instagram. The Giants were blown out by the Packers, with Odell himself only pulling in 4 catches for just 28 yards. While all the Giants receivers took the trip, Odell, being Odell, took most of the heat in the media. OBJ's 2017 season was cut short in Week 5 against the Chargers, where he suffered a season-ending injury. However, the Giants had seen enough to convince them he was worth a 5-year, $90 million extension. OBJ was locked in as the face of the Giants. While New York fans were excited for the future, the Giants were certainly not moving in the right direction. Despite a new head coach, they still finished the season 5-11, with Odell missing the final 4 games of the season. The Giants did lose 8 one-score games, but that was still not enough for them to get anywhere near the playoffs. With just 1 playoff appearance in his first 5 seasons, Odell needed a move, and he became the major trade target of the 2019 season. He eventually got the move he was looking for, going to the Cleveland Browns, although that didn't exactly go to plan. The Browns went 6-10 and missed the playoffs in 2019, but 2020 is where things started to go real bad for Odell. To start with, Odell was playing well in 2020. In Week 4, he went crazy with 154 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Cowboys. This reminded us how good OBJ could be. The Browns looked real good, starting the season 5-2. Then things went left. On the first drive of the game against the Bengals, Baker forced a pass to Odell, which was intercepted. When OBJ gave chase, there was a collision and he tore his ACL and missed the rest of the season. Despite that, the Browns had one of the best seasons in their history. They made the playoffs, beating the Steelers in the wild card round, and came close to shocking the world against the Chiefs. There was hope OBJ could return in 2021 and take the Browns over the top, but this didn't happen. He struggled with injuries. When he returned, it just didn't hit the same. His plays looked forced and out of rhythm with the team. He didn't have a single game over 100 yards. In the game against the Steelers, OBJ was completely locked down. The media and fans let him know it all over socials. OBJ Sr. had seen enough. He posted receipts of his son wide open multiple times against the Steelers. This created a flashpoint. Odell Beckham Jr. versus Baker Mayfield. People took sides, some chose Odell, others chose Baker, but what was clear to everyone, the pair just didn't fit together. Baker and the Browns played better without OBJ. The Browns looked to trade OBJ, but with his price tag, locker room issues, and injuries, nobody wanted him. The guy that was the face of the league just a few seasons before couldn't get on a roster. The Browns agreed to release him. After his release, OBJ joined the Rams, signing a 1-year, $1.25 million contract with the team, hoping to win a Super Bowl. Odell contributed well during the season, but when the Rams got to the playoffs, he turned into a different beast. In the wild card game, Odell scored his very first NFL playoff touchdown against the Cardinals. 2 weeks later, OBJ put in a brilliant performance to help the Rams pass the 49ers defense, catching 9 passes for 113 yards. That included a key catch in the 4th quarter, which helped set up the game-tying field goal. In his very first Super Bowl appearance, Odell caught a beautiful pass from Matthew Stafford for the game's first touchdown. OBJ did get his Super Bowl ring as a part of the Rams, of course, beat the Bengals, but Odell had to leave the game in the 2nd quarter with what turned out to be another torn ACL. That Super Bowl is the last time that we saw Odell on the field in the NFL. While there was speculation that he would sign with the team for the 2022 season, Odell was not healthy in time to contribute to any team, and so he missed out on the season. But now, OBJ is finally back on an NFL roster, and after more than 12 months away from the game, he has a lot to prove. Now we know he has a ring and a Super Bowl touchdown. Nobody's saying he's washed, but the OBJ that came into the league is a star. Despite the flashy highlights, his time in New York was a failure. In 5 years, he had 1 playoff appearance. His time with the Browns was just ugly. We don't really need to get into that. His season with the Rams went well, but he's been away from the game for over a year. The NFL has moved on. We've seen other wide receivers take over the league. This year, with the Ravens and Lamar, we hope OBJ returns with that flash, that charisma, but most importantly, them W's. A bad season for OBJ could see him moving into obscurity and away from the spotlight in the NFL. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give us a like, as this would help our channel. Thank you for watching.